Something huge is happening right now in the world of sales. Seriously, the old playbooks are getting tossed out the window, and the tech that drives revenue is changing faster than ever. For any business out there, this isn't just some trend to watch, it's a moment where you've got to adapt or you risk getting left in the dust. So let's dive in and see what this new future is all about.
So let me just ask you straight up, is your sales operation, right now, actually built for what's coming? We're talking just a couple of years away. Because when you look at the data, a lot of the models we're all relying on today are, well, they're already starting to crack under the pressure. Let's start with a number, 42 hours. Get this, according to the Harvard Business Review, that's the average time it takes a sales team to follow up with a brand new lead. Now think about this, if the very first person to respond gets the deal almost 80% of the time, then 42 hours isn't just slow, it's basically forever. You've already lost. Okay, so what about the people actually doing the work? Well, nearly 33%. That's the annual turnover rate for sales development reps. You know, the folks on the front lines, the ones whose job it is to bring in new business. And that's not just a headache for HR. It points to a deeply unstable and really expensive model where you're just constantly hiring and training over and over again.
All right, so you might be thinking, fine, humans are slow and expensive, let's just automate everything, right? Well, hold on. That brings a whole different kind of danger. One single call that breaks the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, the TCPA, can land you a $1,500 fine. Now, just imagine an AI system making thousands of those calls a day with zero human oversight. The risk is absolutely catastrophic.
So when you put all these pieces together, the absolute lack of speed, the problems with scaling, and the huge risks of just letting AI run wild, you get what we're calling the 2026 RevOps crisis. It's a perfect storm of challenges, and it's hitting businesses all at once.
This whole crisis really breaks down into four big problems that all feed each other. You've got that speed to lead problem we just talked about. Then there's what's called the scaling paradox. You can't just hire your way out of the problem. It's way too slow and cost a fortune. This all leads to this AI trust gap, where companies are terrified, and rightly so, of automation creating a nightmare. And the end result of all of it? Just massive, massive waste. Some studies show that 65% of all marketing spend is basically thrown away because of slow follow-up.
Look, the bottom line is, the old way just isn't cutting it anymore. Businesses are basically stuck between a rock and a hard place, trying to choose between two really flawed extremes, or, just trying to manage some chaotic mess in the middle. Let's break down exactly why these old models are so broken. And this right here, this shows you the trap perfectly. On one side, you've got your all-human teams. Yeah, they give you quality, but they can't scale, they cost a fortune, and people are always leaving. On the other side, you have pure AI automation. It scales like crazy, sure, but there's no quality control. It's a compliance nightmare waiting to happen, and it's terrible at building actual human relationships. Neither one of these is a path to victory.
This quote just nails it. Businesses are caught. If you stick with only humans, you fall behind on speed and you can't grow fast enough. If you go all in on AI, you're gambling with your brand and your bank account. There has to be another way, right? A third option?
And that brings us to the solution, a third way that isn't some weak compromise, but a true evolution. It's called the human-loop AI model.
The whole idea is actually pretty brilliant in its simplicity. It's all about taking the best of both worlds. You let the AI do what machines are amazing at, handling insane volume and working at a speed no human ever could. And then you let the humans do what we do best, provide that strategic eye, make sure the quality is there, and step in to take control when a situation needs a real human touch.
Okay, so that sounds great, but how does it actually work? Let's peel back the layers, because it's built on a really clever four-part system that weaves AI and human smarts together. So let's walk through it. First, you have the AI execution layer. This is where AI agents are making thousands of calls at machine speed. But here's the magic, the absolute key, the human oversight layer. You have a single human coach who is actively monitoring a small team of these AIs in real time. They can listen in, they can guide the conversation, they can even jump in and take over the call instantly if needed. Then, behind the scenes, you've got an intelligence layer, where machine learning is constantly making the system smarter. And finally, the integration layer makes sure every bit of data flows right into your CRM. It's a complete system built for both power and control.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. That all sounds amazing on paper, but where's the proof? Does this thing actually work? Well, let's look at the numbers, because the results are, well, they're pretty mind-blowing.
Man, this chart says it all, doesn't it? A traditional sales team, it costs over $1,000 just to book one appointment. Pure AI might look cheaper, but see that little star?
that's hiding all the costs of brand damage and legal fines. But now, look at the human loop model, $125 per appointment, with almost no risk, and you can scale it up like crazy. The difference is it's staggering.
And if you're a visual person, just look at this. It's not even a fair fight. We're not talking about a small improvement here. This is a complete game changer for the economics of finding new customers. That tiny bar on the right, that's a revolution in efficiency.
Want to see a crazy real-world number? For one B2B software company, this model delivered a 946% return on investment in just 90 days. Note, that is not a typo. That's what happens when you get the raw power of AI combined with the smart, strategic control of a human.
And hey, this isn't just for some fancy tech company. Here's a great little story about a cabinetry business. They started generating so many high-quality, big-ticket leads that they were able to completely change their business. They now only take on premium projects and actually turn down jobs under $100,000. Now that is what real growth looks like.
Okay, let's bring this all back home. What does all this mean for your business, for your revenue? Because we're not just talking about a new tool here. This is a whole new path for how companies are going to grow from here on out.
The thing is, this train is already leaving the station. The businesses that jump on this in the next year or two, they're going to build a massive competitive advantage that could last for years. The ones who wait until 2027, well, they're going to be playing a desperate game of catch-up, just fighting for the scraps left over.
So it really all comes down to this one final thought. This change in sales is happening, whether we like it or not. The tech is here, the model works, and the rules of the game are being rewritten as we speak. So the only real question left for you is, are you going to lead the charge, or are you going to get left behind?